Hey, what's going on? It's your man Diamond K, of course, the Diamond K Show, ONFIRE-TV.com. You know, the exposure of Diddy continues, and Rolling Stone has done this 6-month investigation where they have really dug into a lot of the alleged violent behavior of Diddy. I don't know if I can even say alleged anymore. So much has been brought to light, and Diddy has a lot of explaining to do, as they say. Now we saw his apology, his PR stunt is what I call that. The mother of the Notorious B.I.G, Voletta Wallace, Miss Wallace told Rolling Stone that she hopes the disgraced bad boy mogul apologizes to Cassie and his mother, and that she wants to slap the daylights out of him. Not like an old school mom, right? Old school mom. Diddy, over the years, has paraded Miss Wallace out when he has tried to do things involving the memory of her son. He brought her out for different things. And I'm sure that she was not feeling him like that. Now, over the years, maybe she started to believe some of the things that he said. But there has been a steady stream of allegations against Sean Combs. Since Cassie came out, there has been a bunch of lawsuits, a bunch of things. So she filed that sex trafficking lawsuit against the Bad Boy founder in November. It detailed numerous instances of physical abuse. We just saw the video that CNN obtained of just one. Cassie, of course, said that there were several against Diddy. Numerous abuse, including that 2016 video that was captured on the hotel surveillance footage. We saw that. That was disgusting. So, in the wake of Cassie's allegations, 5 more women and 1 man have come forward to accuse Diddy of sexual assault in their own lawsuits. Now, of course, Combs has denied this. Wasn't me, wasn't him. Dark time in his life, blah, blah, blah. Miss Wallace, the mother of the late, great Notorious B.I.G, said that I am sick to my stomach when she is referencing the multiple allegations of violence and sexual abuse against her son's former CEO, John Diddy Combs. Miss Wallace said that she's praying for Cassie. She's praying for his mother, talking about Diddy's mom. And she says that she does not want to believe the things that she's heard, but I've seen the hotel video, and I pray that he apologizes to her, Miss Wallace says. So Miss Wallace was of the mindset that a lot of people were of, which is they didn't want to believe it. So she didn't want to believe things that people had said about Diddy, people were saying about Diddy, and she acknowledged that video footage that we have all seen that CNN put out there. You got these major outlets that are trying to uncover things. Are they doing this because they're trying to protect the community? No, that's not why they're doing it. They're doing it for clicks, doing it for likes, doing it for attention. That's what the media does. That's what we do in the media. So I'm not faulting Rolling Stone for this investigation, not at all. I'm not faulting CNN and TMZ and 50 Cent and everybody who's coming up with pieces, documentaries, exposés, all that kind of stuff. So Rolling Stone has done this investigation. They've interviewed over 50 people that have been in and around Diddy over the years, dating back to the 90s or late 80s, when the time when he was at Howard University. So that was the late 80s. So early Bad Boy staffers, associates, industry sources also recalled how Biggie viewed his label boss as a corny executive. That sounds right. I could see Biggie feeling like that. So you go back to the 80s, Diddy did come off as corny. Back in the 90s, yeah, people said that he was corny, especially in those early 90s. Biggie was the one that gave Diddy the stamp, really. But these industry sources, former Bad Boy staffers, early Bad Boy staffers, say that Biggie viewed Sean Combs as a corny executive and was on the verge of leaving Bad Boy before his murder in 1997. We've heard this said about Tupac. We've heard this said about Biggie. And some other folks are hammering down on the fact that, or the presumption that Diddy was going to lose Biggie as an artist. It doesn't sound crazy. It doesn't sound far-fetched. Combs capitalized on the shock and sorrow over the death of Biggie. That is really what catapulted Diddy to the next level. That's when he started to really try to rap with the help of Mace and Jada and others writing for him. Biggie was writing for him before that. The little things that he did. Biggie was the one that started calling Sean Combs Diddy, trying to make him cooler. But Combs capitalized off of this sorrow and used the collective sadness of the hip hop industry for and to his own benefit. Biggie's album, the Life After Death album, the double project, would top rap charts, and I don't know. It really was a different time. It really was a different time. And when you think back, it all makes sense. Hindsight is 20/20 vision. Kirk Burroughs, a co-founding partner of Bad Boy and a president, told Rolling Stone that he advocated for the late great rapper to get the cover of Rolling Stone. So we're talking about a time when the cover of magazines was a big thing. He said that he was telling Sean, let's make it Biggie. You still have a chance for a cover in the future. So we're talking about Diddy getting on the cover of Rolling Stone instead of Biggie. You'll have a chance for a cover in the future, Kirk told Diddy. He recalls that Diddy said, now we're talking about the option of putting Biggie on the cover of Rolling Stone. And the co-founding partner and president of Bad Boy told Sean Combs, let's put Biggie on the cover. You know, Puff, you can get on the cover later. There's plenty of time. And he says that Diddy, Sean Combs, was like, no, he's dead. I'm putting out the No Way album in July. So he's talking about what goes down as Combs' debut album. I need to be on the cover of Rolling Stone. So Miss Wallace did not comment on that part. So you got two schools of thought. You have a fallen artist who Diddy really, I'm going to say, built his career on the back of Christopher Wallace. Am I going too far by saying that Diddy built his career on the back of Biggie? Yes, he had done things before that. There was work with Jodeci. There was work with Father MC, for those that remember him. There obviously was work with Mary J. Blige and the different things that he did at Uptown Records before he was fired. There was work obviously with Craig Mack. Craig Mack had some big records, but I say that Diddy, Sean Combs, built his career on the back of the Notorious B.I.G. You might even say he built his career on the grave of the Notorious B.I.G. Now, I know that's pretty harsh, but we have complete hindsight and 2020 vision now. We know how things went now. So the No Way Out album, initially they were calling it Hell Up in Harlem, for those that remember that. I remember I had a record store at the time, talking about in the 90s. I remember getting some of these singles in the mail and talking about 12-inch records for DJs. And as what we now know as the No Way Out album was coming together, and they were pushing singles, trying things out. Of course, the Benjamins being such a massive record. And no one was embracing Diddy, Sean Combs as a rapper. No one was feeling that. But he was surrounded by great rappers, and we reluctantly accepted Diddy. But if you talk about his quote unquote debut album, that's really a compilation, right? It's really a compilation. It's really a various artist project, but he put his name on the front of it. Now, for those who are going to say that Dr. Dre did that with the Chronic, you're right. The Chronic was much. I mean, it could easily be considered a compilation. Chronic was a great album as well. And ironically, Dr. Dre wasn't a writer of rhymes either. And ironically, Dr. Dre has had his own accusations and revelations with abuse as it relates to females. Isn't that ironic? It's so ironic. Well, Miss Wallace has devoted her life to maintaining and promoting the legacy of her son, Notorious Biggie. And that legacy has been manipulated by Sean Combs. So you may say, okay, now people dumping on Diddy after all of this, but people have been saying stuff about Diddy over the years. This is not something new. And many times I have defended Diddy as it related to artists, different artists saying, oh, we signed this, we signed that, we want our publishing, different things. And I'm saying, well, they should have signed that, or they signed it, and that's part of the game. And I've defended him, but I have long stopped being able to do so. His actions, appalling. Talking about Diddy, appalling. Ms. Wallace says that Puff Daddy Sean Combs needs to apologize to his mother, and I hope to God he sits her down and spills his guts and apologizes to her. So she wants an apology. She hopes apology happens. Combs has definitely been keeping a low profile. Kind of a low profile. So he had Homeland Security agents conduct a search warrant in his Miami and Los Angeles homes, part of what we believe is a federal sex trafficking investigation And this goes back to the springtime, early or late March. Sources say that investigators had interviewed several potential witnesses in the spring. On Wednesday, this week, CNN reported that potential witnesses were notified that they should be prepared to testify before a grand jury in New York City. Oh, this is serious. This is serious. They need to be watching Diddy. He may try to pull a Russell Simmons and dip. Be somewhere else. Trying to find himself. When asked about this looming Homeland Security federal investigation and the 6 active sexual assault lawsuits against Combs, Wallace's response was interesting. I leave it to time, she said. I leave it to time. We'll see. Let's see how this unfolds. That's what she said. And, you know, it's just ironic that the mother of the biggest artist on Bad Boy has come to feel the way that she currently does about Diddy. Interesting. Rolling Stone interviewed 50 folks connected to Diddy throughout his career, stretching back to the Howard University days, as I said, from the 80s. So there is a career-spanning article. You can check that out. Published it this week. Very interesting. Very interesting. Uncovered a lot of previously unreported allegations of violence against women on Howard, on the Howard University campus. A lot of things that folks didn't know. Going back to the old days, right? Because a lot of times people say money exposes folks, but these are behaviors dating back to times before he was known like that. He was known around campus, but he wasn't really who he became. Interesting. So you're going to see a lot of things like this. You're going to see a lot of exposés and these pending lawsuits. He ain't got money to settle all these lawsuits. He ain't got nothing left. I said when the guy that they called the drug mule of Diddy, when he was arrested, and then it turned out that he's cooperating. Yeah, this case, they're building a case against him. And you still got folks that are supporting Diddy out there. Right? No, I don't hear his son making no diss songs. No more. I don't think we have no more diss songs from King Combs. I don't think so. Biggie's mom has a problem with Sean Diddy Combs. And I think she always did. Says that she wants to slap the daylights out of him. Ain't nothing he can do. There's an ex-makeup artist that claims that she was next door when Diddy allegedly abused Cassie. Claims that she heard Cassie being abused. Well, why he ain't do nothing? Diddy's behavior, now we're going back to the late 80s. Diddy's behavior at Howard was full of red flags. Screaming, warning, warning, warning. But like I said, it was a different time. Allegations about the music mogul's stint at the prestigious HBCU offers another shocking chapter in the unraveling of the legacy of Sean Combs. If Sean Combs had perished, I don't know, during the pandemic, his legacy would have been sealed, I think, in a good way. He'd have been frozen as the hit maker, although a lot of people, have things to say about that. It would have been kind of frozen. He'd have been safe. People would have said stuff. A lot of these things would have come out. Maybe Cassie would have sued the estate. Maybe it would have been different things. But the way that he is going down, ain't going to be nothing left. There ain't going to be no legacy. It's going to be a disgraced memory, a disgraced time in hip hop. As these assault and harassment lawsuits continue to shine light on Sean Combs, his troubled history, and the very disturbing alleged violence towards women. Now, I'm saying alleged because there's so many other allegations that we have not proven yet. And just because the Cassie assault has been proven, it doesn't mean that all of the others that are suing him, it doesn't mean that those are facts yet. So I gotta say alleged. Gotta say alleged until we don't have to anymore. So this Rolling Stone investigative article, super interesting, reveals that the music mogul's misdeeds stretch all the way back to his time at Howard University in the DMV. Not far away from where I am right now. Diddy began attending this famous institution in the fall of 1987. He left after his sophomore year. However, the way he shouts out his school, talks about his time there, he donates a lot of money. Many people thought he graduated. And that's fine. But it seems like during this time, he developed the reputation for throwing unforgettable parties. So much about Diddy is connected to the party lifestyle, the party environment, the parties at Howard, parties in New York, the parties that he would later throw Cali, Florida. Very interesting. So there are many shocking allegations out there about his behavior, about this party lifestyle. The other thing that started to surface during the late 80s, 87, 88, 89, was the reputation for his alleged unwanted touching and fits of rage. According to Rolling Stone, one woman told the outlet that after he caressed her back without warning and asked if she would be willing to meet one of his friends, she stayed as far away as possible from the future Bad Boy founder. I mean, he shot his shot and he had no business touching her. But I mean, offering services is not against the law per se. But it seems like anger management has always been an issue for Diddy. Let's go back to the Making the Band show. Remember him throwing a chair at the assistant? Or the crazy way that he behaved on that show. Many people feel that his behavior was normal, or it just was accepted. But it was very strange. It was very strange. The fits of rage. He acts like a child. So the flying off the handle thing, he did that a lot. And this goes back to his time. I'm sure it goes back to even before he was in college. But we're talking about the time when he was in college. Former students describe incidents where she had a problem with Diddy cutting her in the cafeteria line and he flew off the handle then. In another scary incident, a former classmate of Diddy's then girlfriend described how he would show up for the English class, tap on the window to get his girlfriend to cut class. The classmate, who stayed anonymous out of fear of retaliation, recalled how the girlfriend would tense up during those moments. He just had a weird control thing. I felt like she was fearful, the classmate said. This is some of the same kind of energy that we would see in Cassie. I don't know why folks didn't pick up on it more over the more recent years. But because of his success, because of his money, because of these things, he and other celebrities have been allowed to behave in a certain way. And whether this downfall, whether this spiral can be directly pointed to Diddy's public spats with the liquor companies and the Ciroc and the other companies that Diddy was accusing of racism. If you draw a line from the current time back to that point, the allegations came right after that. Now, that seems to be what triggered a lot of things. But the behavior is true. And that's part of the problem as well. So I guess it was okay for Diddy to manipulate people, abuse people, as long as he didn't run afoul to the powers that be. But once he ran afoul to the powers that be, the whole kingdom comes crashing down, and the whole kingdom is crashing down. Ain't nobody trying to do business with Diddy. Nobody. Even the Notorious B.I.G's mom is not feeling Diddy. A lot of artists coming out. A lot of artists ain't saying nothing, though. A lot of artists talking and a lot of artists not talking. Diddy has a lot of ex-friends now. A lot of ex-friends. But as I said, that behavior at Howard University, full of red flags. And then he has the nerve to try to call himself love. So interesting. It's a history of violence that dates back to college. Details of abuse. Just behavior that is unbecoming is not even enough to say unbecoming. Like, we got to say more than that. Like, it's not saying that his behavior was unbecoming is just, it doesn't do justice to how disgusting this behavior that, I mean, I guess we can say it's being uncovered, but many of us knew. There are many folks that tried to warn the world, and people made excuses. Oh, you know, they mad, they angry, they in their feelings, they don't have heads, so you know, some stuff like that, right? People made excuses, but now the time for excuses is over. Time for excuses is over, and it is just inevitable that a major federal operation is underway. So we're just going to have to see how that unfolds. Definitely going to have to see how that unfolds. Another former associate, last thing I want to get into. Another former associate says that Biggie wanted to leave Bad Boy prior to his death, obviously, and that Diddy told Biggie's attorney, that he would die before giving him, Biggie, 100% publishing rights in a new report. Now, that's an interesting statement. Now, I will say this. A lot of artists don't own 100% of their publishing. Most artists do not own 100% of their publishing because this is a group thing in many instances, right? There are partners involved. So you have the person that performs the songs. You got the person who wrote the song. You got the person who produced the song. Sometimes those are the same people. Many times they are not. So when you go back to the time of the 90s, many of those songs contain samples of other artists' records. When you sample somebody's record, they become a part owner of that composition because you used their song in your song. So they automatically go down as a writer, right? If the paperwork is right. Now, Diddy, interestingly enough, he ain't wrote nothing. He can't play any instruments. He doesn't know how to work the machines, but he knows the vibe and he knows the lifestyle. And that's how he has weaseled his way in the whole industry. So I'm not saying that every artist deserves 100% of publishing, especially if they did not write and produce everything, right? They may own 100% of the lyrics, right? If that's what you did. But many of the contracts that I have seen and heard about are split up. They're splits between the label, production, the artist, the writer. Sometimes a performer is doing a song that somebody else wrote, somebody else produced, and all they are the vehicle for us to hear the song. Do they deserve 100% of the publishing? No. No, this is someone else's song. So many times you will hear artists sing a song. You're like, I heard somebody else sing that song. Or this is a song from 20 years ago. And the writers or whoever owns the catalog has allowed this other artist to perform this song. Hey, take somebody like Dolly Parton, right? And I have on a Dolly Parton shirt right now. Take somebody like Dolly Parton. She has songs. Whitney Houston performed one of her songs. Big record. Beyonce, more recently, performed one of her songs. Right, but that's her song. Totally different. But you have other artists that don't have that resume per se. But everybody, it's cool to say I want 100% of my publishing, right? It's cool to say it, but what does it actually mean? There's a whole process, and many artists don't understand that process. I just want to get their music out. I just want to get my song out. I don't care about the publishing and nothing. I just want to be heard, right? But as you get deeper in the game, then you understand some of the other facets to the business. And there are many facets to the business, right? So Diddy, one of the more recognized names from the 90s, is on a downward spiral. Downward spiral. The Locks complained about getting their publishing. And there are others, right? But Diddy didn't write anything. Diddy was the label and the producer in many instances, or he took credit for production. Let me say that. Now, what is a producer? Producers, many different things. So I've worked with engineers who can program a drum machine, play some beats, use an app, but they can't really compose a song. They just beat makers, right? Beat maker, and that's an important part, but they don't know how to match up lyrics with the beat or a melody or create a song. It's just a beat. That person is part of the production process. And so what somebody like Diddy would do is get actual beat makers, but they don't really, these are low-key guys, maybe don't have the whole vision. And then he's like, give me something I can dance to. And, there's a whole creative process, and that's not the right sound. Sample this, sample something else. And, and they're searching for a sound. Diddy is trying to get a certain energy. So you put a different artist on there, try to sing. Let's get a singer. Let's get a rapper. I don't like that. Change this, change that. And he's like an orchestra. He's you do this, you do that. They're bringing the whole thing together. He's a composer of sorts. Not really composing because he's not actually creating music, but he's directing others who are creating, and he's taken production credits many times in that instance, right? In that instance, but Diddy can't DJ. He doesn't, but he knows the vibe. He knows the vibe, and that's how he's made his career many times over. And there are a lot of artists that have been in situations like that. It's part of the creative process, and I love the creative process. Creating with a group of people is a fun thing, especially if you catch a good vibe and the energy is good. That's how it rolls. But many artists felt like, and this is not just a Diddy thing, and this is one of the things that I used to battle with folks about. Diddy and the percentage that he kept from artists, that's not something that only Bad Boy did or does. There are many artists on many labels that have splits with the label that involve their publishing. Many. He's not the only one. So the industry as a whole is wicked and crooked. Now that needs to be changed. We can see that the artists don't get what they're supposed to get. The producers don't get what they're supposed to get. And the behavior of successful artists and labels are often really bad behind the scenes. And a lot of deviant behavior like R. Kelly, like Diddy, have been allowed to continue. Even if you talk about in the movie industry with Weinstein, success and these successful people have been allowed to behave in a way that is unbecoming and barbaric because of the success. And then when the success starts slowing down, or they run afoul to the powers that are above them, then their whole world comes crumbling down. Lot of similarities there with regards to R. Kelly timing, Weinstein with timing, and Diddy with the timing of their demise. Interesting. Let me know your thoughts, of course, in the comment section, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, at The Diamond K Show. Of course, I am here normally at 6 p.m. We are definitely here early today. But a lot going on. We're heading into the summer. And so we're going to continue to follow this Diddy story as it unravels. Biggie's mom wants to smack the daylights out of Sean Combs. And I know this, she ain't the only one that wants to do that.
Visit ONFIRE-TV.com for live top stories, breaking news, and original shows.
Represent, where you from, DJs rockin', hands in the air. Who's running this club? Diamond K. Who's running this club? Diamond K. God, where you from? 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 Don't stop, 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 don't stop. Don't stop, don't stop, don't stop, don't stop. Show me what you got. Show me what you got. Make it hot. Show me what you got. One more time.
West side,
Make it hot.
east side,
Make it hot.
south side,
Make it hot.
both sides,
Make it hot.
west side,
Make it hot.
east side,
Make it hot.
south side,
Make it hot.
both sides.
Make it hot.
One more time, 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 one more time.
Say it loud. Show me what you got. Show me what you got.
One more time, 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 one
Make
more
it
time.
hot. Show me what you got. Show me what you got. Show me what you got. Make it hot.